TikTok Shop is gaining massive interest among Amazon sellers, but many don't know what tools and data are available to succeed on this platform. And in this video, you will learn how to use Helium 10's complete TikTok Shop toolkit to calculate profitability, convert your Amazon listings, set up fulfillment, and find influencers to promote your products. If you want to try Helium 10's TikTok Shop and other tools, you can sign up using our link, and don't forget to use one of the coupon codes which you will find in the description to get your monthly discounts.
Hello Shivali, welcome back to Orange Klik YouTube channel. I'm excited to have you here today with me because you're going to give an overview of the tools and features Helium 10 has launched for e-commerce sellers who want to succeed on TikTok Shop. And before we go into all of the exciting things you have stored for them, could you first introduce yourself and also give us an overview of what Helium 10 is, because it's not only about TikTok Shop, it's way much more.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, LISETT. So my name is Shivali Patel. If you don't know me, I'm a senior brand evangelist at Helium 10. I'm an Amazon seller. And Helium 10 is a software suite of tools for the Amazon seller, but also now for TikTok sellers, for the Walmart seller. And we have everything from product research into keyword research, listing optimization, marketing, ads, everything you might want or need to get to in a business. We have something for everybody. And that's not just to overload you on tools, but really because they are very important. Of course, you want to use data that already exists in the market to predict, well, which products, if I launch them, are they actually going to do well? And then you want to take a look at the data to make sure you're using the right keywords to index and rank. Are you actually ranking where you want to rank? What do your ads look like? And all of these things are things that you will want to keep a pulse on if you are a business owner in the e-com space. And so that is what I'm really here to chat about today, is because I know the tools, you need to know about them, and I'm here to educate you on how you can implement this into your own business.
Sounds good. Well, TikTok Shop is definitely trendy and something we are more in the Amazon seller space, and we hear Amazon sellers being like super curious, but at the same time, I know they're not very certain yet what data is available there, what tools are available. So I'm really happy you're gonna today showcase what's possible to do with Helium 10. And again, many sellers are already using your suite tools for their Amazon business. So what should be the first tool you would like to introduce us, or where kind of this workflow of even like setting up a TikTok Shop starts with?
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. I have talked to quite a few sellers that have their hands full, right? Thousands of SKUs on Amazon maybe, or maybe even 5, and they're up to here for their workload in just those 5 for Amazon. So what incentive do you really have to move things over to TikTok or to add TikTok as a basket? Well, we make things really, really easy, and I'll get into that. But overall, anytime we've spoken to a seller who's started selling on TikTok Shop, what we found is there's a halo effect. So not only does your revenue overall go up, but Amazon sales also get a boost from TikTok hype. A lot of times we go to social media, as humans, we don't like being sold to, right? Like, we don't like ads. We'll watch them, but we don't love the whole idea of ads. And so when you're on social media and you see somebody else talking about it, they're like, oh, I tried this out, and it's just an honest review, which is what some of these influencer videos look like. These folks will believe it. They'll buy into it. And hopefully they buy into it for good reason, because you have a great quality product. But overall, right, you're going to see all that traffic get excited and then maybe be incentivized because they're looking for Prime shipping as opposed to just buying on TikTok Shop, right? Amazon already has the credibility. Everybody goes to it in general, in the US especially, but worldwide, it's well known, right? And so being able to capitalize on that is really where our tools come in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I think first things first is you want to know if you're going to be profitable. So let's just start there. I'm going to give this a go. There we go. So once you're on the Amazon browser, hopefully you have a Helium 10 Chrome extension installed. If you don't, it's literally helium10.com/extension. Okay, simple enough, helium10.com/extension. Go add it to your browser. And then once you do, you're going to have access to a handful of tools that work on the Amazon platform. They do work on other sites as well, but let's not get into that right now. What you're going to do is go into whatever niche that you're selling in. So at Helium 10, we sell a coffin shelf. Pretty morbid, I know, but hey, makes the money. And so when we go in and we're checking this out, what we can do is just click this 3 dots and you'll see a box like this so long as you have the Chrome extension installed and it's able to showcase that data to you. So you'll want to make sure that when you're going in, you are letting it read and change the site data. So that's where you get all this additional information from. You can click the 3 dots, go into estimate profitability. Okay. Now you can go into a listing page and click the Chrome extension, also go to this, but this is just a really fast way to do it. You can go in, play around with the numbers, and that's going to be after you toggle over to TikTok Shop. Okay. So once you do that, play around with the numbers. You can even set it as a base 0% commission just to see what it might look like. Maybe you have a network of friends who are influencers already. You're maybe in the Amazon space. You've made some connections, whatever, right? You can go in and leverage your resources. That might mean for you, maybe you have a friend that's just kind of promoting your product for free. Check out what it might be and what your margins are. What can you really work with? And then from there, maybe dictate, yeah, I can afford to do 10% commission or 15% commission. And like I said, we like to make things easy for you. If you're an Amazon seller who doesn't have the bandwidth, you can go in, select MCF, and we're going to show you how to link MCF in just a moment here. When you do this, you'll be able to put in your estimated time and storage and then any additional information to figure out whether it would be profitable for you. That is step 1. If it is profitable, you can go open a Seller Center account on TikTok Shop. Pretty similar to Seller Central, but for the TikTok platform. All right. Once you've done that, you're going to go into Helium 10, and there's a suite of tools, just like our entire software suite of tools, that is specifically oriented for TikTok Shop, okay? And this page right here is going to summarize it for you. So let's just kind of start with this page, and then we'll jump a little bit deeper into these tools. So at the very top, when you're inside of your Helium 10 account, if you have one, you're going to go into the TikTok panel, and it's going to show you this page where you can see exactly all the things that we have. You're going to want to connect your TikTok Shop token. That's going to be number 2. Because, of course, you want both of the interfaces to communicate, right? That's how you pull the information. That's how you do all these things that we're about to get into. It's never been easier. You're going to calculate the profitability. We talked about that. Convert your listings, set up fulfillment, and then find influencers. And all of this can be done from inside of Helium 10. Once you've estimated the profitability, you're going to be able to save hours of copying and pasting by bulk exporting multiple ASINs. Then you're going to be able to go in and check out all your ads information, your profits information, which orders were placed, whether or not they've been processed and completed by Amazon for MCF. And then you're also going to be able to search and connect with over 900,000 TikTok influencers, and that database is always growing. Also, something to note is on the TikTok Shop platform, you can only bulk invite messages for up to 50 influencers, whereas inside of Helium 10's influencer messenger, you can do 100, 200, and more on one invite that you've created. So that is one of the perks. And again, just one of the perks. There's many more. You can get more filters than TikTok's native affiliate centers. If you're going in, you're checking out performance, and you're trying to figure out which influencers you want to do target collaborations with, well, you're going to be a little bit more limited as opposed to just going in and saying, hey, I want to check out how many views this shoppable live video got. All right. And a shoppable live, if you don't know, is literally just a live. If you imagine somebody going live on social media and then talking about that product, trying to sell it. Okay, let's see it in action. So we'll go into Helium 10's product section. And once you've done this, you'll see a view that looks like this. And if it doesn't look like this, that's okay too. It's probably because you're on a solutions view. I'm going to go into classics just so I can show you all these little TikTok tagged product tools. Yeah. So when you go in, you're going to first go into listing converter. And inside of listing converter, this is what you'll see. You'll be able to select your TikTok shop. So if I wanted to select Manny's Mysterious Oddities, now this account for us, actually, we just had an issue with, so I'm not sure if all the data would load at the moment while we're appealing, but I do want to show it to you. So when you go in, you'll select the shop once you've connected the token. If you're asking me, Shivali, I think you missed a few steps because how do you connect the token? You'll go and you'll click the right-hand drop-down. Once you do, select connections, and it'll just literally walk you through it. It's very self-explanatory. You click connect token, and then it'll just follow the instructions that are on the laptop screen that you're looking at. Yeah. When you have the fulfillment type, it's asking you where you're importing your inventory from. That means, are you fulfilling from a 3PL? Are you fulfilling from your home? We're going to select FBA if you have Amazon inventory already. Go ahead and fill out any of the product compliance things. Of course, if you're selling something like supplements, none of this is going to be relevant to you. So just, take a look, see if it's relevant to your niche, and then answer accordingly. And then it'll ask you, do you want to submit it automatically for publishing, or do you just want to migrate it for review? I like to do migrate only for review just because sometimes I do want to make changes, but this is really helpful because I remember when I was looking at my listings, I was like, I do not know where these images are anymore. Okay, I created my listings a while back. I don't know where these images are. So this is really helpful from that standpoint because when you click next step, it'll take you into select listings and you can literally go in and just select all the ones that you want to convert. If you want to do all of them, just click the checkbox up top and select bulk convert. Okay, really, really easy. I promise there's no additional hidden steps that you don't know about. It is really that easy. When you go in, then you'll be able to see the conversion status as a third step. You can see if there's been any submitted, if there's any ready to submit, as it says sellers inactive. So that's what I mentioned. It might be a little bit difficult when you're looking at my screen right now, but I promise this works for your products when it's all good to go and there's green flags everywhere. So here we have some failed ones, right? And if for some reason that there is a failure, you can just click retry. In doing so, you'll be able to see the drafts loaded also inside of your seller center on TikTok Shop as well. Okay. Once you've done that, the next step is going to be what? It's going to be mapping those products to make sure that fulfillment occurs if somebody's going to place an order on your TikTok Shop account, right? You don't really want to be doing all the manual labor. And so you're going to go into products, go into inventory management, and right underneath order status, where you have the TikTok icon, it's going to say manage products mapping. All right. You're going to select this, and what it's going to show you is a little pop-up that makes sure that you're linking your Amazon account to your TikTok Shop account. And it'll ask you a few things. You'll have shop. It's a 4-prong toggle, basically, and you'll just select them. And then once you get to the next page over for Manage Products Mapping, you're just going to select which SKU. So it's a drop-down of all the connected tokens that you guys have. The only reason I'm not showing this is, like I said, I'll show you what I'm seeing. But once I go in, you can select the SKU from a drop-down from all the tokens that you have, as well as the TikTok Shop one, and set a safety stock. Okay, what is a safety stock? That's going to be if, let's say, and hopefully this happens for you, you go viral on TikTok Shop. What happens then? How do you preserve your Amazon momentum? Because the last thing that Amazon likes to see is that all your inventory is gone and now you have a few dead weeks. And so you'll want to go in and set a safety stock, say 100 units, 200 units, whatever your case may be. And then if you were to go viral, it's going to, once it hits that number at Amazon's warehouses, it's going to cap it out. It's going to say, okay, there's no more inventory left for TikTok Shop. So very, very easy to do. Inside of order status, you will see that it says TikTok order status, MCF order status, and then you can also view it inside of TikTok itself. From there, like I mentioned at the very beginning of this demo, is inside of products, you're going to have the profits and ads tools also available for TikTok Shop. And then the very last thing I want to cover is going to be for Influencer Finder, where this is available for both Amazon and TikTok. So let's say you are an Amazon seller and you are not yet interested in expanding out to TikTok Shop. That's completely okay. You also can find influencers on the Amazon interface as well. So you would just be inside of Amazon and you would have some similar setup, different filters, just because we don't have access to things like GMV for Amazon necessarily for influencers. But all the same, any information that is available will allow you to filter it through Helium 10. All right. So let's just take a look at this. If I was inside of Influencer Finder for the TikTok workspace, and I said coffin shelf, because that is the theme of the month in October as we shoot this, plus it's what we sell. You can see here we have this woman who is selling or creating content about makeup spooks honest reviews. Great. 16.9K followers. Something I will note about TikTok to you guys is followers don't always matter. I have talked to sellers who work with influencers with 300 influencers, some that have way more than that. But really, as long as they're creating content, quality content, then I think that's kind of the real baseline that you're looking for. Is it inside of your niche? What's the content look like? Does the person actually post once they receive a sample? That sort of thing. Other filters that you have access to outside of number of followers is going to be your followers' age. So if you have a demographic that you know is going to do really well, then you can filter for that. You have 2 different ways that creators can create videos for you on the platform and tag you, which is shoppable video and then your lives. And so being able to check out what their view looks like, what their engagement rate is, that might be something that's important to you. Then you have your GMV. If I know that I have a certain amount of inventory and a certain price point I'm setting my product at, maybe I know that I only need my influencer to sell between 100 to 1K or 1K to 10K. I like to consider the amount of inventory I have readily available to give away when I'm selecting this. You also have your promoted products. You have your items sold, commission rate, which you can kind of set 5, 20, etc., and average buyer spend as well. All right. As you're going through and you're seeing this, you'll see that there's an engagement rate as well. So if you have, 50,000 followers for an influencer, but the engagement rate is down the gutter, then maybe that's not an influencer you want to send out a product to. You can also see their items sold. Have they been successful? This one right here, Fordham, 24.2, predominantly male, 197 products promoted, of which 3,773 have sold. Okay, pretty good. And so this might be something that, if it made sense for us, we might want to sell. Now, his products don't necessarily they look very car-based. So a coffin shelf, would it really match the vibe? Probably not. In which case, we can always go back and refine our search as well. All right, so you can go into category and select the category if it makes you have better results. I would always just test it out. Once you start finding influencers that you like, you can select them and then favorite them. You can bulk invite them if you'd like to, or you can individually do it as well. If you're not bulk inviting, just click invite and it'll take you into the influencer messenger section, where now you're going to be able to add your product. All right. And then click offer free samples if that's something you'd like to do. If you want to auto approve requests, so if let's say you send out an invite and somebody says, yes, I want to get this product, I want to promote it, do you want the platform to automatically do this for you, send out the product for you? Then you would have auto approve. Otherwise, you can click manually review before sending out that MCF product. That will take you into create invite details, all right? In which case you're going to be able to add in your invite message. We actually have an AI write it for me section now. So for the invite message itself, if you are on the appropriate plan for this, which is going to be Diamond, or on our free trial plan, I know LISETT also has a code, so you guys will want to check that out. But you can go in and have AI write it and then tweak it from there and then send it out. Like I said, for the influencer finder and the influencer messenger, you're going to be able to bulk invite a lot more influencers for the same invite as opposed to before. Now, for me, when I'm going through and I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to send it out to, what I like to do is figure out all my personas for the products that I'm selling and then create invites that are catered to that persona, okay, that buyer persona. And then from there, you just add in all the influencers for that persona, so it's a little bit more curated for them. That means if I have a stay-at-home mom audience, then I'll create one specifically that correlates the stay-at-home mom niche to my products, and then create that invite and then send it out to anybody every time I'm scrolling through my influencer finder. If I find stay-at-home moms, I'll just bulk invite them into that one invite. All right. So that is kind of the full rundown. I know I covered a lot of information, but hopefully this is something that you guys can go and implement if you're looking or thinking about expanding out, or if you weren't thinking about expanding out before this, maybe this is that incentive that you need to go in and get started. Because literally, if you take a look at this and you understand it well, what I just talked about, it will take you no more than 20 minutes to get all of it set up. So yeah, with that, I will pass it back to you, LISETT. If you have questions or if there's something I didn't cover, I'd be happy to to finish it out.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Very good overview. I think all of the features you have, and I must say you have a lot by now, and probably we are expected to see something in the future as well along the same lines. But yeah, I do have a few questions for you, Shivali. So I think my first question, so when we kind of come back to the basics of like TikTok Shop, we know from Google advertising, for example, if you're already like an existing Amazon seller, they usually say there are certain criteria which products seem to perform best, or with what products you should kind of even try out Google advertising. And a few where, you know, they like people can say right off that, hey, like it doesn't make sense for you to do Google advertising. So I wanted to ask how it's with TikTok Shop. Is it just using this, you know, profitability calculator you showed us and kind of going through trying to see like, okay, does it like fit my product? Or there's also some common criteria where it's like, I don't know, products over certain price points, certain size, whatever, where it kind of might work, but might be also very complicated to make it work.
I have heard that well, let's backtrack here, because what I was going to say is very different from what I think is actually true, which is if you have really great marketing, then any price point will sell, so long as the influencer knows how to create the content. I have heard in the past that the lower priced products tend to be way easier of a conversion, and that makes sense across industries, right? That's anywhere, even on Amazon, even off platform. So that's why I say the marketing and your pitch is going to be really important, that you're dialed in correctly. But as for the data and what's selling well, I know beauty products do really, really well, but that might just be very much my feed and the people that I'm, you know, chatting with in the circle. There have been other instances of clothing that I've seen do, you know, pop off, hair appliances. Again, a lot of things that are woman-based, but again, I'm a woman on the app, right? So that makes sense.
It makes sense, of course, that you also see these things and you kind of even like notice those things, because probably or car-related products will not end up on your feed anyways.
I actually, so I just became a creator on the TikTok Shop platform, and I just got an invite for a car product as well as for men's streetwear, and I was like,
okay, interesting.
Interesting. But I mean, in some ways, I feel like it does make sense because most of my audience is male because I post about money-based things, I think. But yeah, maybe that's why, because they can see the demographic, right? For Influencer Finder, if you're looking, it shows you what your predominant group is. And so maybe that's what it is. But car products do sell on there, obviously, because otherwise I wouldn't have an invite.
Sure. Okay. But based on some, I don't know, TikTok shop sellers you might know personally or just have seen any case studies, has there been anything like strategy-wise where someone maybe has done something like innovative or kind of out of the box to get the products really like selling? Have you had any of those examples coming across?
As of late, it's really just been sending out a bunch of product, to be honest. Like before in this space, when there weren't tools available, yes, because you would have people creating accounts. You would hire content creators and they would go and build their own accounts and do a variation of, I think I spoke about this at the Orange Klik event, because this was one of the ideas that coined one of my last brands. And so they would go and get different content creators to build an account, have some variation of the name. And so it created this hype because there were so many accounts popping up about that brand and so many content creators talking about it, making it their whole persona, because of course they're getting paid to create a branded account. So that was very out of the box at the time. But now you have this whole influencer setup that TikTok Shop itself has released, which is why now you can just provide a commission in place of, say, the FBA fees that you would normally pay to Amazon. Now you're kind of thinking about it on TikTok Shop's platform of, well, what are my commission fees that I'm going to allocate for this, right? But yeah, I think it's just giving out product and seeing how the influencers get creative with it more than anything else.
Okay, well, definitely also looking forward to hear about your learnings as a creator. Yeah, you wanted to add something. Yeah,
I think one thing I will add is that they have Spark ads. And so as sellers, if an influencer's video does really well, you can actually put money behind it and the ad will run from the influencer's account. So that is something different compared to, say, Google ads or Meta ads, because normally on Google or Meta, you're probably running those ads from your own page or your own account, not an influencer's page.
Very interesting. Okay, good point which you made. But yeah, what I wanted to say that like now I know you love testing things out on your own, selling different products, and whatever like something changes in the industry or in TikTok, then yeah, as I said, looking forward to, because I think when you're kind of on the both sides with Helium 10, you kind of try to educate e-commerce sellers how to do things. You're developing constantly the tools, but then trying to be on the other side, at the greater side, I think it gives also a very good insight, because it's like with Amazon. I often like to ask experts about but hey, we always talk from the tools perspective, but how about you? How do you shop on Amazon? Of course, you're not like the average customer who has no idea of the platform, etc. But still, sometimes it's interesting to think how do we act on our own, or how do we perceive things from the other end?
Yeah, I think after I learned how Amazon Sellers works and Amazon FBA works, I started shopping on page 5 or 6. I was like, there has to be a discounted product here that's high quality.
Exactly. Great. But yeah, Shirley, as you said, we're going to have the link to Helium 10 and also to these TikTok tools and features in the video description below. So I highly encourage to go and check those out. There's also an offer for you. And of course, if you're watching this video and have any questions about TikTok tools, leave them under the video, because then we can ask Shirley to come back and answer those as well. Or we're going to record another video soon. So Shirley, thanks again for taking the time and for educating us about it.
I hope this video will help you to start selling and feeling more confident on TikTok Shop. And if you want to try Helium 10's TikTok Shop tools, you will be able to sign up with the link which you will find in video description, including the discount code Orange10, which will get you 10% off your monthly subscription. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons as always, and leave a comment or question below in the comment section if you have something to ask or clarify about the content you just heard. And now I recommend you to watch more Helium 10 tutorials, which you will find in this playlist. So check this out.